Hi, I'm Ken Miller with the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and here on her back, in this static back position, we have Carolina Ray of C-Ray Performance. A lot of times, we can't help but get a little bit of stress, tension through that low back. 80 to 85% of the U.S. population has had or is currently feeling some kind of low back pain. Now, if it's left up to us and we're up to our own devices as far as how we can strengthen, if not decrease some of that tension in the low back, I'm going to give you 4 things that you can do to help not just relax the back, but go ahead and activate the muscles that help support the low back. So, with Carolina in this static back position, what she's doing, she's just laying out, hanging out, and taking some of that tension off of her back. A lot of us have sedentary jobs where we're sitting behind a computer. So you'll notice if we just kind of flip this camera over, she'd be in a seated position. So in this seated position, but this time on her back, she is taking that tension off of her hip flexors by shortening them up, getting that lower leg to rest on a bench. Now, we know that not everybody has a bench at home. If you have an ottoman, a couch, a chair to where you just rest your hips in a 90-90 position, you can just hang out here 5 to 10 minutes. So you get out of the car, get inside, put your stuff down, relax. Take some tension off of that back. So from here, there are some exercises that we can do, but for our purposes, we're just gonna hang out. So from this position, let's just say that she's been here for 5 to 10 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is move back. Is what we call a deer in the headlights. So with a deer in the headlights, you'll notice that she's she's in the same position you would be in to do a floor bridge. With her knees flexed, feet flat on the ground, she's going to, with her open palm, she's going to place that right on the side of her glutes or her cheeks. Now, she's not doing anything with her hands. All her hands are doing is they're acting as sensors, and they're just feeling the activity of the glutes as we tell them to contract. So, as the deer in the headlights exercise goes, there should be no visible movement from my vantage point. So the knees shouldn't wobble, she shouldn't arch her back, I shouldn't see those ribs flare, she should be in a nice neutral position at the low back, keeping the hands nice and flat. I'm an instructor, just go ahead and give it a 50 to 60% effort of a glute squeeze. So you should feel those glutes contract, hold for 2, and then relax. So from my vantage point, I can see here that as she squeezes, her hands are moving with her glutes as they contract, and then they relax. Right, so about 12 to 15 reps as an extra. This is just an awareness building exercise. Obviously there's no movement, so we're just seeing her ability to control and activate those glutes. Another variation of this exercise is to get those glutes to contract by themselves. So what I might do is have Carolina just squeeze the left glute. Now this is pretty tricky for some, as you know, as we sit down we lose control of certain muscles and our ability to contract and relax. So just to add a little bit of cognitive work here, so she's got to really think about just squeezing that left cheek while nothing happens on that right cheek. So she feels no activity under her right hand, but she feels that glute contracting under her left. How's that feeling?
It's contracting.
All right, perfect. So then she would do the same thing on her right side. And another progression from that is to alternate. So now she can squeeze that left glute while that right one relaxes, and then as she relaxes both, then it's the right side's turn. So she's just going to go on the right, on the left, on the right, on the left. And as you can see, this is why they call it a deer in the headlights, because your clients are just sitting there and they're looking and they're just feeling what's happening at the hips. Okay? Perfect. So she'll do maybe 10 reps of those on and off. And again, just her getting more aware of what's happening with that posterior hip. Now the next exercise is going to be what we call an ankle squeeze. So she is going to go ahead and turn over onto her stomach. And she's going to put this block, and she's going to put it right between her heels. So this is an exercise, great glute activation exercise, but one I picked up from my buddy Anthony Carey down in San Diego. So as this exercise goes, is that you're putting this block. Now, if you're at home, not a lot of people have a block in their homes, but if you take 2 couch pillows, maybe a shoe box, something about 6 by 12 dimension, you're gonna have this prone position, so you're face down, head is resting on your hands, 90-degree bend at the knee, neutral spine, and you are going to squeeze, or you're gonna put pressure of those inside ankles into the box. So you're gonna squeeze, hold, and then relax. So when I say relax, you're not gonna relax so much that the box falls, but you're gonna still apply enough tension that it stays in place. So you're gonna press into the block, and then you're gonna relax. So as you can see, Caroline is doing a great job. She is contracting the glutes, holding for 2, and then relax. So just 1 second relax, and then she re-engages. So this is an awesome glute exercise. She's already in a hip, in an extended position, so she's nice and tall as she activates those glutes. So this is a good follow-up to what we just did with the deer in the headlights. And good. All right, 12 to 15 reps of that. Should be awesome. Again, in this prone position, we're just gonna go ahead and prop her up. And we're gonna do a quadruped exercise. I know in another video I did some progressions from a quadruped position. So everything else from start position remains the same. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, tabletop flat through the back. Head is in a neutral position, so ears, shoulders, hips are in line. Good position here of the shoulders. She's not rounding off, but her rib cage and her shoulder blades are laying flat, one right above the other. So as the glute exercise goes, again, to strengthen the area around this lumbo-pelvic hip region, she's gonna extend that right leg. So again, I don't want this leg to go up too high because then that promotes maybe a hip rotation or a low back arch. I just want that hip extended, knees extended, toes pointed, what we call triple extension. And I'm gonna have her activate that glute by having her with her toes, let's just say, draw out the alphabet. I can have her do anything. So if you imagine, you take the pen to the tip of her shoe, she is gonna draw A through Z. There we go. So she's doing great. Neutral spine, hips level. How you feeling?
Love it.
Okay, all right. Feel those hips working?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So here we have this hip drawing essentially the alphabet. Now this left hip is doing what it can to help keep those hips nice and level. So there's activity going on both sides, both differently, but activation just the same. Now if I wanted to make this more cognitively demanding, I'm going to have her draw out the alphabet Z to A. So that might give them some pause as they do it. As she's stuck on W. All right, perfect. All right, so B, A. All right, go ahead. Let's go ahead and stand up. Again, she would do that on both sides. Now, the finisher here is a little bit of integration. So this integrated exercise, again, from fingernails to toenails, we're putting it all together to where she's going to do a single leg balance with a side reach. Her number one job, neutral spine, shoulders level, hips level. She starts off with a nice athletic position, flexing the hip, knee, good balance, and we can use the line here, this lateral line here on this BAM mat, which is perfect because it has the numbers here that we can say, okay, you're reaching out, maybe 15 on the right, I want to see that we get 15 on the left. Okay, so she's gonna reach out, she's gonna hold for a couple, and then right back in. Again, if I'm looking at it from the front, hip, knee, and toe are in line. She's nice and stable. She's got a little bit of a shake and bake going on, but she's doing great. Reach, hold for 2 seconds, and relax. So she'll get 10 to 12 reps on that one. And she'll do that on both sides. So again, when it comes to low back issues, some of us can't get away with it. It's something that most of us will experience sometime in our lives. But if we haven't had it, we can do what we can to prevent it, but if we do have it, at least we have this little sequence that might help you in one way, shape, or form. So give it a whirl. If you're having some kind of issue, try it out, see if it relieves some tension for you, but let us know how you like it. So thanks, be well, take care.